So welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to our workshop today. This is our second workshop in a series of workshops. So if you finished today and you're like, I really want to invite some of my other people, be sure to invite them. We have a couple more for industries. We're going to have for doctors next, and then for small business owners. And then actually after this, they're not up yet, but we're going to have a series of workshops that are like 101, so like the most basic, 201 to give you a little bit more tools, and for like advanced users. So stay tuned. So let's get started with our workshop today. So this is what we have on the agenda. Today, we're going to cover these topics. Hopefully, we have half an hour. So we'll talk about what is AI, how it works. We'll do an introduction to ChatGPT and AI in the future in general. Some practical applications of AI in your industry. We'll actually do like live. We'll work with ChatGPT, and we'll talk about best practices of using AI at work, and some other useful AI tools that aren't ChatGPT. So let's get started. I also want to tell you that if you ever have any questions during the whole workshop, you can feel free to write them in the chat, or you can raise your hand, whatever you prefer. So let's get started. So first, let's start with this big question. What is artificial intelligence? Can anyone write it out in the chat, or feel free to open your mics to participate? Constanza, like it looks like you want to participate. What is AI? What artificial intelligence?
Actually, artificial intelligence allows you to look for or to have some information that like it should be human, which is answering or doing. It's a, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's a like ChatGPT, for example, is like a kind of program or a tool, or I think it's more than a tool. And it's a very advanced way to look for some things that you can find everything in one place, I think, since several things. I mean, text, images, I don't know, another things that I don't know.
So I agree, like you said, a lot of things, and I agree with a lot of them. So artificial intelligence is hard to define if you're not like an engineer or something. But you said it correctly. Basically, what it is a simulation of human intelligence by machines. So I think it's important to say that it's a simulation, because it's important to know that it doesn't really create anything new. Like, it's kind of redoing everything that we've already done before, everything that we've already written, said, etc. But this is actually one of its biggest strengths, because it kind of puts together all of like our collective human knowledge, and it helps you access it. So it allows you to improve the human mind's capabilities, like take everything that everyone's already learned and take it to the next level. So we kind of mixed let's go to the next one. So why would you think it's important to learn how to use AI? You may be thinking, I'm not a tech person. I don't need to learn how to use it. What do you think, Jocelyn or Kat? Wait, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Jocelyn, can you like share? Can you click on like? Yeah, perfect. Excellent. Thank you. The next one. Great. Okay, so now Jocelyn or Katz or Constanza, why do you think it's important to learn how to use AI, even if you're not in the tech business? I mean, I have already some things here, but
one, because it's the future. And the other one is that even if you have some information, some thoughts, some you can, as you say, you can improve your ideas with artificial intelligence. You can know new things, new ways to do things. And also, as it says here, like an advantage for your life, and in this case for your work, because I think it's going to be a tool that you can manage. You can use it as an advantage when you want to have a job or you want to show something. And maybe also you can teach the others about AI as well. So I think most are benefits. It's a high demand skill. Yeah, it's now and it will be.
Yeah, so I would actually agree with everything you say. There are some disadvantages, like there are some things that we have to be careful about, but we will talk about those as well. So yeah, in general, I would agree with everything Constanza said, and I would summarize it to basically it's a high demand skill. Just even having it on your CV is going to be an advantage for you. It's going to be a competitive advantage in the sense that it's a high demand skill, and because it'll help you do your job easier and better. And it's future-proofing your career in the sense that you're not going to get replaced by AI. However, it's going to be more common that if you know how to use AI, you'll get hired. And if you don't, maybe you won't. And this is not 100%, but it's highly likely. Yeah, exactly. I like what Jocelyn said in the chat, that ChatGPT is an ally. It's not to replace you, it's really to help you. So let's continue. Let's talk. Can you go to the next slide? And let's talk about some of the things that AI can do for you. So AI has, you may have noticed on the internet, it has a bunch of applications. You can do it for like everything. For music, for paintings, for presentations, for writing, etc., etc. You can use it for anything that you can think of. But basically, it'll help you with repetitive tasks, with things that you already know how to do, but you want to make it easier for yourself, to enhance your current skills. So let's say that you are an ESL teacher, you're an English teacher, you of course know how to teach English, but it can help you make your life easier. And this next point is to use it to increase your own innovation. What I think is the main use for AI is to let it give you more time. So you can use your time to actually be innovative. AI is kind of innovative in its own way, but it's not going to reinvent the wheel. You are, okay? So I think, Jos, can you stop sharing your screen for a sec? And I want to share now my screen so I can show you what ChatGPT looks like. I want to show you what it looks like. Okay, let me show you. Go ahead, let me show you. So to access ChatGPT, this is the view that I see because I've already logged in. It's going to ask you to make an account. So you would go to chat.openai.com. This is a confusion that some people have. Like, why is it openai.com? ChatGPT is a product of OpenAI. So OpenAI has several products, I believe. This is the one that I use the most. You can also use a similar products. There's other things that are similar out there. There's copy.ai. There's that new one that Google released, which is called Bard. I think they all have their pros and cons, and you can choose whatever you want. But this is what ChatGPT looks like. Notice that the first thing that it tells you is that it tells you the kind of things that it can do, what are its capabilities, and what are its limitations. So it's very important that that our own expectations aren't higher than what AI does. So some of the things that it's able to remember is that it'll remember what the user said in an earlier conversation. This is very useful, especially if you use this chat functionality. So every chat is like one memory. So let's say that, I don't know, you want to work with different students. You want to have a chat for different students. So chat number 1 is going to be 8-year-old Spanish boy. And then you're going to have another chat that says 40-year-old Argentinian man. So notice that I'm not putting any names because you don't want to share any personal information. Like you can say about how old they are, or if they're a man, or if they're a woman, their level of English. But I would always recommend very strongly that you don't share any personal details that can identify a person, because this is kind of public. Okay, it allows a user to provide follow-up corrections. We'll see that in real life. And it's also trained to decline inappropriate requests. So if you tell it, can you tell me where I can buy guns in Mexico City? In fact, let's do it now. I hope that it's going to say, I am a chatbot and I can't give you that. Exactly. So I can assist you with that request. So it does have like checks and limits. You can't ask it anything. Oh, and great. Here we have the limitations. So this is something that you have to have super in mind. It may sometimes generate incorrect information. So that's why you want to double check anything that it ever tells you. So if you, I don't know, you want to use it to research something about, I don't know, the history of Mexico City, and it gives you a summary, like a paragraph, whatever, you want to go to a second source and check it. Like, don't take it for granted. We'll talk about this later. It may occasionally produce biased content. Like it looks at the internet, and if you ask it about, I don't know, something political, it has like an opinion, depending on the person that coded it. And it has a limited knowledge of world and events after 2021. So if you want to ask it something very recent, it doesn't know. If you want to know something more recent, it actually suggests that you use BARD instead. BARD, that one is the Google one. And it has more, it does have up-to-date information. Okay, so that's ChatGPT. That's what it looks like. Okay. No, I won't stop sharing my screen. So before we go into using ChatGPT, I want us to fill out this Mentimeter. Okay. So I want you to tell me any task that you perform at work that you find tiring and time-consuming. So this can be for your work if you're like an English teacher, or it can be about your job right now, something that you find tiring and time-consuming. You can either scan the QR code, or you can use this link right here to go in and input your challenges. So I'm going to wait 1 or 2 minutes until we see a couple of these. I'll participate myself, actually. Taking my phone. I have no idea where my QR code. Oh, here it is. Okay, so let me see. Adding links to a doc. That is very true. Okay. I'll see one more. What do you mean plane of a meeting room? Like, you can explain.
I will explain because actually I'm not allowed to put too many words.
Yeah.
As event coordinator, I'm thinking now that maybe you can, I'm not sure, I mean, maybe not with ChatGPT especially, because this is just text or words, but maybe you can convert some, in the hotel we have meeting rooms where we can design how the client wants to be furnished for the event. Or not furnished, but you have
like how do they want the tables, the chairs? Yeah,
that's
like
right.
a map.
Sorry,
like a map, como un mapa.
Sí, como un plano, quise decir, pero no me acuerdo.
Okay.
So maybe you can, if you put some tests, it can be converted to a map of the meeting room.
Okay, actually, that's an interesting. I'm not sure if I can do it with ChatGPT, but
I don't know.
And it's not a bad. Let's see. We can experiment. Okay, so we have a couple of minutes. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to try to see how we could solve some of these problems. So I'm going to write them down just so I don't forget. So it's plane of a meeting room, summarizing data. Links to a doc, sending emails.
Giving feedback as well.
Giving feedback. That's a great one. That's a very good one. Okay, so let's go back to ChatGPT. I'm going to use the premium version that we have in FutureFounder, but really I would say it's basically the same as a free one. I'm just going to use the premium one because it's faster, just so we can see it live. Okay, so let's start with an easy one. So let's say that I'm an English teacher, and I will tell you the hardest part about being a teacher is always parents and having to deal with all of the emails that you send the parents and parents sending you emails. It takes a lot of time. And what I really feel like is the most challenging thing is not actually writing the emails, but writing them in a tone that is appropriate, you know? So let's look at an example. So let's say that I have a student, I'm going to write. So I have a student that is 7 years old. She is usually very well behaved. Okay. But first I forgot to tell ChatGPT what I want it to do. So I want you to write an email to Nora, this student's parents. I have a student at 7 years old. She's usually very well behaved, but we had an incident today where she stole her friend's sandwich and I don't know, and cried the whole afternoon. This is very unusual for her. Okay, so this really took me about 30 seconds to write, and let's see what it tells me. What I usually use ChatGPT for is to help me with tone, to making things a little bit softer, a little bit more polite, so that it's not misunderstood. No? So it tells me this whole thing, that your daughter is typically an exemplary student. She's often for her politeness. There was an incident. Okay, and for example, and I look at how much it added, and I feel like this is everything that I wanted to say. But let's say, and I want to tweak it a little bit. She does not usually excel in academics, only in behavior. Please help me correct. And it'll give me a correction. So this is what it means, that it can correct things. It's very important that you read the whole email and you agree with it, and then you send it. ChatGPT is only there to help you, not to do your job for you. So this is one of the things that it can help you do. Let's say email. Another one, let's say, let's do feedback. I really love the feedback one. So let's say that my students wrote, I know. Okay, let's say that my students wrote a short story and I want to give them feedback. So I have a short story here. And let's ask for it to give you feedback. One thing I would suggest is that if you ask for feedback, to ask for constructive feedback or sandwich feedback. If you just ask for feedback, it'll just tell you good things. So can you please give me constructive feedback on this short story? So it's going to read it and it says, oh, that it loves the whimsical and comforting atmosphere. It's an interesting journey. Okay, and it's going to tell me a few things that could be enhanced. It's kind of funny what it suggests. So it suggests more character development. Maybe there needs to be a better plot. Maybe show, don't tell. Okay, a note on grammar. Oh, wow, and it even makes another story. Okay, so this, for example, this at the bottom, we don't really need the other story. But let's say that I was giving feedback to one of my students on their short story. I wouldn't copy paste exactly what ChatGPT said. I would maybe write, in fact, maybe I can even use ChatGPT to make this feedback shorter so I could actually give it to my student. Let's say, so this is great. Please make it shorter. Okay, and it's giving you shorter feedback, and you can choose what to give and what not to give for feedback, but it's a good place to start. Okay, so those are two of the problems that we wanted to solve. So emails and feedback. I also want to give a very good one. In general, you can ask it to help you with anything, but I want to give an example that I already worked on this morning. So let's say you can actually have it help you with anything. And what I like to start with is to ask for a lesson plan. You're not going to give it exactly like that, but it's a good way to have already a place to start. So for example, here I asked it very specifically to come up with a lesson plan for a 7-year-old, and they're an A1 English learner, and I want to introduce numbers in a fun way. So if I just say, give me a lesson plan for a 7-year-old for numbers, probably won't be as good. The more specific you are in your prompt, the better it will be for you. Okay, so it gives me this lesson plan, etc., etc. Oh, but this is 55 minutes. I want it to be 25 minutes. So I ask it to adjust. And it gives me this lesson plan, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and it even gives me a homework assignment. And I think this one is not that bad. So let's go I'm looking for a different exercise now. I want for it to give me ideas for a game to practice long A and short A. It can give me a couple of ideas. And the first idea tells me to have digital images depicting words with a short A sound. And of course, as an English teacher, I can do that. What? I can just ask it to help come up with a list for those both, and it'll give me a list. And then maybe I want to take it a step further. Write for me a short text that uses these words. So you're kind of building up to it. Any material that you need or want, it can help you come up with it, and you can check it. For example, this one made this story, but I read it and I thought it was way too difficult. So it used those word mysterious, which is very hard for someone to read, creaked, I think even beautiful would be pretty hard to read. So I asked it, hey, thank you, but please make it suitable for an A1 learner. And it made it a lot more simple. So these are just a couple of examples that I wanted you to see of ChatGPT in action. There's a lot of things that you can do. You can play around with it. And I want to, Jocelyn, can you go back to sharing the screen? The screen. I want to tell you about 3 more tools, the AI tools that I personally love to use, that you can use in your work life. Can you go to the, I think 2 more slides? Next. Okay, so these are the 3 tools that I personally love that I would suggest that you check out as well. So they're all free. They'll have free versions. And so the first one is, can you go to the next slide? So the next one that I love is this one called Crisp. Oh, sorry about the P. I don't know why it's down there. Crisp it was originally as a background noise suppressor. So it was an app for you to have on, like on Zoom, so that your dogs you wouldn't be able to hear your dogs. But now it's changed, and it has this AI tool that it'll transcribe everything that you're talking. And these transcripts, they can be reviewed, they can be shared, and the best part is that it makes a summary of these, of whatever happened in your meeting, and it'll even give you action items. It's a really good summary. I find it super useful, and I basically record all of my meetings. Next slide. Okay, this next one, the free version, you can't really see the AI bit, but this is basically a tool where you can keep track of notes everywhere. So it'll sync with your calendar and with your email, everything. And the idea is that it kind of makes connections between everything that you've been doing so that you don't have to remember. So let's say that I'm talking about Jocelyn in a note, and I'll be able to see from it everything that I've written about Jocelyn. It's pretty handy. And last slide. So this last one is one that I recently found that is amazing. This you can use for absolutely any industry that you're in. This creates how-to guides while you work. So you don't have to take a screenshot and add it to a doc and add the instruction. You just do your work as normal, and Tango will automatically take pictures of instructions, and it'll even write what you're supposed to do. So this is super useful if you I don't know, if you're a teacher and it's how to upload your grades to PowerSchool. And you can make a quick guide and you can send it to other teachers, or in your general job, how to, I don't know, post on LinkedIn, and you can make it a really quick, and that guide is there for you forever. So I see, that's a great question. Tango is completely free. Mem, there's a free version, but that doesn't use AI. And Crisp, it has a free version that can give you up to 120 minutes free, I think. I don't know about 120 or 90, but it's still pretty good. If you have one important meeting that you want to suppress your noise, I highly recommend it. You're welcome, Constanza. And that is basically it. This is really a very tiny introductory workshop. So I would suggest to you, you can take our other workshops, or you can feel free to explore by yourself. Can we go to the last slide? and just basically make sure that very, very important, anytime you're using AI, I want to leave you with this word of not warning, but warning. Remember that AI should be making no decisions. Like AI is your ally. It can give you more ideas, help with a blank page, but it should never be the one that is making the final decision. You are the human, you're the one that with the expertise. So make sure that you're not just copying what the AI said, but using your critical thinking, processing, and to really make the best out of it. So, and I think that is it. Does anyone have any final burning questions or anything they'd like to comment? I want to keep it as possible in the half an hour, just to respect your time. Any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. I like very much the presentation. So the only thing is that it's a very huge theme to talk, I think. Maybe, yes, maybe in 1 hour, I mean, not now, but maybe in 1 hour or several times, we can explore more, but it's very interesting, and it's, yes, it's huge. It's huge. Thank you so much.
I think it's a very good point. I think, Constanza, maybe I will take your feedback, and I think maybe for next workshops, we can leave it a little bit longer, 45 minutes, because it is so much. And look forward, I really am still thinking about what you were saying about the plane of the meeting room. I think there has to be something that can help us. I feel like I'll think about it, I'll reach out. And maybe we can talk about it in one of the further workshops. We'll have more and more tools and that kind of thing. I would like in the further workshops that we also talk about some AI, like some visual AI, because there's a couple of, for example, Canva just released its Canva AI, and you can literally tell it like, I want you to make, I don't know, a lemon with eyes jumping or something, and it'll make it for you. So I think we should experiment with that, and maybe that can help you with the plane of the meeting room.
Yes.
That's a good feedback. Thank you, Constanza. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, then it seems everything was pretty clear. Thank you so much for coming today, and see you hopefully in the next workshop.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a nice
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you, Constanza. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Jocelyn.
Bye, everyone.